Hi, everybody. Today we're going to do an activity regarding grizzly bears. Here's a picture of some grizzly bears eating some delicious salmon. Oh my goodness, they look so awesome. I love salmon. I wish I was a grizzly bear. We're going to do a writing project. Now, you guys are a little bit advanced, so we are not going to read this book because it might be a little bit easy for you. But this is going to be practice in writing a good, strong paragraph. This is part one of two lessons that involve grizzly bears. So for part one, we're going to make a graphic organizer. And at the end of the graphic organizer, you're going to go ahead and turn that into Google Classroom or however it is your teacher wants you to turn this in. All right, so here we're going to, every time you see this pen, you can go ahead and pause and take as much time as you need to fill in the blanks or copy whatever it is I'm doing, okay? So here we go. I'm so glad you're here. The first thing I want you to do is make a rectangle. Make a rectangle. Perfect, perfect. And in the middle of the rectangle, I want you to write grizzly bears. Grizzly bears. Perfect, perfect. Excellent. And if you ever see something like this and there's something written that you're not entirely sure what it is, I think a lot of times different tests that you'll take throughout your life will specify like this is an animal, and sometimes they'll even specify what classification it is. So here you have mammal, mammal. So remember mammals, they have often have fur, they oftentimes have skin or fur, they give birth to live babies, they drink their mother's milk. Many mammals are warm-blooded. So grizzly bears are mammals. If you want to copy that down, go ahead, press pause. Perfect. And we're going to have 4 subcategories here on our graphic organizer. Graphic organizers are meant to help organize your writing or your thoughts or your comprehension. So here we're going to go ahead and we're going to put down, make sure to leave a little space here at the bottom because we're going to fill this out. We're going to go ahead and we're going to make 4 rectangles. Now, I really don't want you to focus on this looking perfect. I want you to just go ahead and do it so you can read it. I'm going to talk while you pause. You should pause and you should make 4 rectangles. 4 rectangles. Okay. So once again, this is not about perfection or beauty. This is just to organize ideas and thoughts and to make your writing easier. If you have a good graphic organizer, you should never be in a place where you don't know what to write. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to write. Look at your graphic organizers. You have all kinds of ideas. So today we're going to talk about 4 things regarding grizzly bears. We're going to talk about their habitat or where they live. We're going to talk about their diet, what they eat, what they eat. We're going to talk about their prey, other animals that they eat. And we're going to talk about their appearance. Appearance. Let me write this kind of small, APPEARAN. That's an NCE. ANCE. Appearance. Actually, I really don't like that because I want you to be able to see clearly. So I'm going to write it over here. Appearance, how they look. How they look. I'm going to go ahead and let you pause so you could fill this out. You could pause for as long as you like. Teachers as well, you can pause as long as you like to let the kids fill this out. Great job filling this out. So we're going to go ahead and start with habitat. Once again, a habitat is where a person or an animal lives or a plant lives. Okay. So under each little section, we're going to write 3 lines. But right now we're just going to do the first 3. Okay. So I'm going to ask you to make 3 lines. Do they have to be beautiful lines? No, they don't. Just make 3 lines. Okay. And it's good to have a pencil. I have the Sharpie so you can see, but a pencil's good for erasing. Okay. So I looked up places where a grizzly bear would live. And the first place I looked up was in the woodlands. Woodlands. And while you copy this down, I'm going to go ahead and let you pause and not just copy it, but what do you think woodlands means? What do you think woodland? Look at the word woodlands. What type of area would a woodland be in your mind? And remember, we love wrong answers. Just give it a shot. Um, if you never give it a shot, then you're never going to learn, right? And it's okay to be wrong. Maybe you discussed it and maybe you got the right answer. Woodlands are areas covered with trees. So it makes sense that grizzly bears would be in those areas, right? Woodlands. The next place um, that I searched up was forests. Forests. Grizzly bears live in forests. So I'm going to go ahead, pause. Perfect. And most of you should know what a forest is. Lots of trees, lots of vegetation, animals, all kinds of plants live in the forest. Okay, and then the last word is alpine meadows. Alpine meadows. Now, let's see if you could take a guess as to what this means. Okay. Excellent. So alpine meadows, this was new to me. I actually did look this up. Alpine meadows are basically meadows or places with lots of vegetation, but they're at a high altitude. So maybe a little mountainous, maybe a little hilly. It's at a high altitude. Okay. So these are places where grizzly bears live. These are places where grizzly bears live. Woodlands, forests, and alpine meadows. If maybe you know of a different place where grizzly bears live, you could put your answer here if you would like. Okay. So here we're going to talk about the diet. We're going to talk about what grizzly bears eat. Now, diet is a tricky word because it could definitely be used as a verb. So if you hear someone say, I'm dieting, it's like you're trying to lose weight. But also a diet can simply be what someone eats or what an animal eats or how yeah, so diet, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna see what grizzly bears eat. What grizzly bears eat. Okay. And I'm gonna go ahead and start here. And maybe you could get, you know what? Let's have you guess a couple of things. Why don't you write down, if you don't know three, I'm sure you could guess at least one thing that grizzly bears eat. If you can guess all three, go ahead and share them out loud right now with your teacher, or you could go ahead and just say them out loud from your house while just so you could guess, and then go ahead and of course write them down. Perfect. All right. So I've heard lots of great things. Maybe you said berries, maybe you said fish. So there's all kinds of things that I discovered that grizzly bears eat. So the first word that I discovered was forbs. I had never heard that word before. Forbs. And forbs basically means flowering plants. So some plants have flowers, some don't, but grizzly bears love flowering plants, and there's all kinds of flowering plants. Maybe that's why they really like to live in these meadows, right? Because there's all kinds of beautiful flowering plants. Okay, I'll let you copy that. Okay, and once again, you could add this word or keep your own, whatever you want to do. I'm going to go ahead and write fish because we know that they like especially salmon, right? Oh my goodness. And I'm going to go ahead and write squirrels. Squirrels. When I Googled it, it said rodents and it gave a bunch of examples, and one of them was squirrels. So I'm going to go ahead and put this here, and you can make sure your diet section is finished. Super job, super job. All right. So here is appearance. Appearance. I'm going to go ahead and make my 3 lines. So appearance is a fancy word for saying how something looks. So why don't you go ahead and write 3 things or as many as you can about the appearance of a grizzly bear. And then I'm going to go ahead and write my 3 things. If you can only think of 1 or 2, that's okay. And then we'll compare notes. And while you're paused, your teachers, you could also ask students to share their ideas out loud. All right, so I was looking at the different pictures and reading different things about grizzly bears, and I saw that they have a large shoulder hump, like a big mass on their back. They have a large shoulder hump, and it helps them when they dig. When they dig, it helps them. And so let me find a little picture. Let me find a little picture. So here we go. So here, so I guess this would be the hump right here. And then this would be a hump right here. So it's by their shoulders. There is a big shoulder hump. I'm trying to see if my book here has another, you can't really see it in that page. So yep, here's one as well. Here's one as well. You could see a shoulder hump. Okay, so they have a large shoulder hump. They have long claws, and I found out it was just on the front feet that their claws are exceptionally large. Long claws, long claws. Okay. And you're seeing that I'm writing maybe a few words, not just one word, because especially with appearance, you want to give descriptive words. You want to describe things. So not just claws, long, wait, let me see, where's my hand? Here we go. Long claws, right? Not just a hump on their shoulder, it's a um, large shoulder hump. And then the last one, this was amazing. Boy grizzlies can reach 800 pounds. Can reach 800 pounds. That was for mine. Can you give me some words that might describe an animal that can reach 800 pounds, that's almost 6 feet tall? Can you give me some words to describe that? Very good. Maybe you said things like huge, enormous. These are all synonyms, right? Gigantic, gargantuan. There's all kinds of synonyms for this, but definitely um, grizzly bears are huge animals. They're very big. And the last subject here is going to be the prey. Sometimes different tests might ask you for predator. That means um, what animals eat them. But here I found grizzly bears. I think it said sometimes you have certain mountain lion that might eat them, but for the most part, they don't have many predators except for maybe people. But we find that grizzly bears like to kill and eat. We already know fish. I just discovered moose. That's a lot of meat right there. Moose and different kinds of rodents. Rodents. Maybe you want to, when you write yours, I'm about to pause. Maybe you want to put in your own type of prey. What type of animals do grizzly bears kill and eat? Okay, you could use mine or you could use yours. Excellent. We're nearing the end of our part 1. I would like you to take your graphic organizer and please upload it to Google Classroom. We will be using, excuse me, we will be using this for part 2. See you in a bit. Bye.